and Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live or go back and rewatch previous episodes of The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, The Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local.
What are you going to miss? He struck him out.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. I hope everyone's having a great day. The show also brought to you by OGW Energy Resources. Kev, happy Thursday.
Good Thursday, sir. Well, good Friday.
Oh, yeah, it's getaway day for me. I will be out tomorrow and Monday. I'm going to be out tomorrow because I don't want to hear about the 3-1 Bengals tomorrow, so I'm just taking tomorrow off. I'm just avoiding it.
Smart man.
Most people run right into their problems and address them. I just hide from them. So. And then Monday, I'm going to probably need to take off just because it's still going to bleed into next week. No, I'll be out. I'll be in LA for the weekend, come back on Tuesday, and we'll be back off and rolling. I'll be back Monday, technically, but the show will be back on Tuesday. So let's cram it all in. We got a lot to get into today because we got to give you our Week 4 NFL picks. Week 4 technically kicks off tonight. Bengals, Jaguars, which is what I want to open up with. I find this matchup, the teams, blah. Bengals, Jags, not very. It's not very appealing. I know it's appealing around here. A lot of Bengals fans, but what I'm drawn in by is Joe Burrow against Trevor Lawrence, because there was that big old debate early on about if Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence came out in the same draft, who would have been selected number 1 overall. I mean, it's no secret that the college career of Trevor Lawrence trumps Joe Burrow's career. Joe Burrow, though, had the best season of either of those two. If that makes, you know what I mean? Like, I know Trevor Lawrence's storyline was fantastic as a true freshman winning a national championship. But Trevor Lawrence's career, better than Joe Burrow's. Joe Burrow had one elite season, but that one elite season trumps any individual season that Trevor Lawrence had outside of winning that national championship, of course. But Joe Burrow topped it by winning a Heisman and also being the number 1 overall pick. So there's that, being a champion, Heisman winner, being the number 1 overall pick. There's a lot of parallels there. But these two are fascinating. If they came out in the same draft and the Cincinnati Bengals had the number 1 overall pick and both of these quarterbacks were available, I think most pundits would say Trevor Lawrence is the guy to take. I think the Bengals would have taken Joe Burrow no matter what. And at the end of the day, you're not wrong with either. Right. You can argue that maybe the Jags would be better with Burrow, than Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't believe you, but you're entitled to that opinion. But I think that these two, while everyone's focused on Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, and you have your Lamar Jacksons and everyone else, obviously everyone's still relatively young within this league within a couple of years, but I think that these two are going to be a part of a separate group that I think while everyone's focused over here, these two are quietly going to be building these great, impressive resumes in the NFL. The name to look out for, too, that I have to throw in, his name just isn't as sexy as the other two, but I think might end up being better than both. I already think he's better than both, at least as we sit here this second, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert with the Chargers is fantastic. Last year I was just being labeled a hater. If I would compliment Justin Herbert, people took it as, oh, you're just complimenting him to stick it to Burrow. Justin Herbert is actually the best quarterback of the three right now. I think who's set up for more long-term success, as crazy as it sounds, give freaking Burrow an offensive line. And I think he's set up for more success than the other two, just because you have Joe Mixon, you have T. Higgins, you have Tyler Boyd, you have Jamar Chase, and you have, I'm not a big Zach Taylor fan, but you have an offensive-minded coach.
Right.
So if it's going to work, there's no reason it shouldn't work. The only reason it's not working is because of that OL. That's where I'm at with that. Trevor Lawrence, I've never understood the idea why the Jags thought, I don't care if it is Urban Meyer, by the way. Okay, I don't care if it was Urban Meyer. Putting a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback, that's a disaster. That makes zero sense to me, because a rookie quarterback coming into the league should be able to rely on the veteran leadership of the vets around him, as well as the coach to teach him the game. Urban Meyer knows the game of football, but Urban Meyer is still learning the ropes of the NFL game. Now, as crazy as it sounds, Urban Meyer still knows the NFL game, it seems, better than Mike McCarthy of the Dallas Cowboys. Simple little clock management things. It amazes me how Mike McCarthy is off on all that, but having Urban lead Trevor Lawrence, as much as I love Herbs, I think that sets Trevor Lawrence behind Joe Burrow. If you want to talk about which career seems to have the brightest path of all of them, I think as much as I rip on the Bengals, I think Joe Burrow is set up for more success moving forward with the weapons he has. The O-line's going to hold him back for the time being. Herbert's going to have more instant success right now because he has a better roster. And I think Trevor Lawrence might be the most talented of all three. I think he has this. I think he's more talented than the other two. I think his situation is the worst of all three. And that's even coming from me, who rips the Bengals on a daily basis. Trevor Lawrence, I'm worried about his career. I'm worried about Urban Meyer's career in the NFL. I think that the Jags really screwed up by giving a rookie head coach the job to try to teach the NFL game to a rookie quarterback. And I just don't think it's set up well for long-term success for Trevor Lawrence. I think it's really going to come down to Burrow and Herbert as far as the two quarterbacks that everyone's looking at.
Yeah, it's the head coach's responsibility, especially a rookie head coach, to have coaches that can coach the players, because this isn't like college where you have a ton of head coaches calling the offensive plays. I can really think on my hand in the NFL how many head coaches call plays. So you got Zach Taylor calls plays, Andy Reid calls plays. That's really all I can think of off the top. Stefanski calls plays. So that's three off the top of my head. But like,
I think there's more. I just can't think
I'm
of
sure
any
there's
out there.
more.
But it's not, you have an offensive coordinator for a reason.
Right, right. And I just think that, in the NFL, the head coach is kind of like the CEO of the whole ship. And it's his responsibility to find a coach that can coach the players. And he coaches the coaches and, is the manager of the whole situation. So do we even know who the OC for Jacksonville is? I'm sure we can do a Google search and find out exactly who it is, but just off the top of our head, we don't know.
I don't know who any
is.
of their coordinators are.
I know that Charlie Strong is on the staff.
That was the easy one. That was on me. But yes, outside of that, there was no significant name on that staff.
Right.
I mean, the most relevant name was the guy that they brought over from Iowa, and he's no longer there.
Right.
So
I think there's a lot on Herb's plate to find coaches that can coach his players up and run the offense and score points and everything like that. And if your players aren't put in a position to win, you're not going to win games, period. Like, I know he's a rookie quarterback and he's looking like a rookie quarterback and everything like that. So the year Joe Burrow was having, the year Herbert was having, those are anomalies. These are the stats that rookie quarterbacks normally put up. They normally throw for a ton of yards and throw a ton of interceptions. Go look at Cam Newton's rookie year. He broke all types of rookie records for passing yards and touchdowns and everything like that. But he also had like 18 interceptions. Same thing with Peyton Manning. I don't really have a problem with rookie quarterbacks throwing interceptions because it's the speed of the game, and further you go along in your career, and especially throughout your first season, things quote unquote slow down for the guys, but they just don't look organized. And we'll see that tonight on Thursday Night Football with Jacksonville and the Bengals. A short week. Let's not forget that, a short week for Jacksonville, and they travel to Ohio. So these Thursday night games are sloppy as is. So you have a very young roster with a rookie quarterback, with a rookie head coach in the NFL. I'm expecting a sloppy game. This is a prime opportunity for the Cincinnati Bengals defense to feast. I'm talking about some pick sixes. I'm talking about some scooping scores, because they clearly had the advantage here. They spent a lot of money in the last two off seasons getting that defense right. And from every account from these first three games of the season, they look pretty solid. So what do? You get a rookie quarterback, just like the Browns had a rookie quarterback last week. You feast, you get after them, you cause havoc in the backfield, you sack them, you get some strip sacks, you get some interceptions. This, for the Cincinnati Bengals, this ain't about the opponent. You run through the opponent. You go ahead and handle your business. And the best way you can do that is shutting down an already offense that is inept and turns the ball over a ton. So get some of those turnovers.
Yeah, and by the way, we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, The Justin Kinner Show. Follow the page on Facebook, and you could jump in. Jake Whiting says Darrell Bevel, whoever that is. I'm assuming.
He used to be the coach at Tampa Bay.
So thanks for that, Jake. Appreciate that. Jake also says, now earlier when I asked, there was a lot of those questions. Man, if Trevor Lawrence and Burrow came out in the same draft, who would you take? The Bengals, I think, would take Burrow over Lawrence 10 times out of 10 just because of the fact of the Ohio connection there. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that fits. Like, Burrow in Cincinnati fits. Not just because of the Ohio thing, but like there's a connection there. It just makes sense. It just fits. I think that Baker makes a lot of sense in Cleveland. I think that his personality matches that of Cleveland. It just fits. Like, there's a good chemistry there. I think it fits. But Jake Whiting says that Burrow, he said that Burrow best Trevor head-to-head and won a Heisman. I'll take Burrow every day of the week. And they both ended up getting to the same place. They both ended up being national champions. They both ended up getting to the NFL. They were both number one overall picks. Burrow did have the Heisman to one up Trevor Lawrence. But at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence started as a true freshman, won a national championship, playoffs every year. Didn't lose, rarely lost, only would lose to the elite of the elite. Burrow had such a strange career. It's not a bad career. Like, that's the thing about right now when you talk about teams that are so deep. Like, look at all the quarterbacks that Ohio State has. You have your Jack Miller, you have your Kyle McCord, you have your Quinn Ewers, who's waiting off in the shadows right now, and then there's CJ Stroud. One of these guys is Joe Burrow. One of these guys is going to be a guy that leaves Ohio State and goes on and has epic success elsewhere. And then everyone's going to be like, well, what the hell? How come he couldn't do that here? Well, it's just all about where you're at in the progression. But clearly there, whether it was injuries or what have you, Burrow needed he needed the perfect fit. Ohio State clearly wasn't the perfect fit. It doesn't mean he wasn't good. It just means it wasn't the perfect fit. He couldn't beat out anyone for the job. He goes to LSU. It's not like LSU became an instant fit. He didn't have a lot of success that first year. His numbers weren't great. Hell, there was one game where they scored 70 plus points in like quadruple overtime. And I think it was like 7 overtimes. It was some crazy number. And he didn't even throw for over 300 yards.
Yeah, versus A&M.
So how do you put up that many points and Joe Burrow, your quarterback at LSU, doesn't even have more than 300 total passing yards? Like, it's not like he went to LSU and lit it up. It was just this one magical year at LSU where everything came together. He had every weapon imaginable to be successful, and he took it, ran with it, capitalized on it, and that's all you can do. I'm not going to discredit Trevor Lawrence because Burrow has a Heisman over him whenever Burrow had probably the best offense of all time of college football when you look at the stats and how they just dominated every opponent. Bottom line, you can't go wrong with either one. I don't think either team tonight, I don't think either team has the edge tonight quarterback-wise. I don't think Burrow has even reached his potential yet. Kev, I don't even think we've seen the best of Joe Burrow yet.
Oh, no.
As much as Cincinnati fans love to brag about him, we haven't seen that game yet. What's that game that you look at and think, oh, that's that coming out game for Joe Burrow? I think we're so enamored by him that we're giving him a pass. I mean, he's averaging 216 passing yards a game. If that was Baker, we'd be destroying him right now. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm not ripping Joe Burrow right now. All I'm saying is everyone's so pumped and locked in on him, and we haven't even seen Joe Burrow at his greatest yet. Like, I think that the best is still to come. I think last week was a step in the right direction. I'm not buying that offensive line being what it was against Pittsburgh. However, I did enjoy that game because it did show everybody what Burrow's capable of if you give him time to throw. That deep ball, it's not Joe Burrow having the inability to throw the deep ball. He just didn't have the damn time to throw the deep ball last year. You give him some time, and him and Jamar Chase are just dicing up teams left and right. I think that's really what it's going to come down to. I don't care about the Bengals. I don't care about the Jags, but I care about Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence tonight. The Urban Meyer impact as well there. I'm excited for tonight's Thursday night football matchup, Kev.
Got that NBA appeal to it, huh?
Player
versus
really,
player.
Yeah. And that's how, I mean, you look at the NFL, if this was the Lions tonight and Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer going up against the Lions, I'd be like, you look at their quarterback going up against the, Trevor Lawrence, I'd be like, just not, Jared Goff, but Burrow, man, it does. It has that NBA type feel where I'm not tuning in for the quality of the teams. I'm tuning in for that player matchup, and the quarterback matchup tonight is pretty dang cool. Ron Howard on Facebook, Kev, says, where did you get that shirt? Goodwill. My brown shirt.
Oh, you.
Ron can't get through a whole day without taking some kind of shot at me. Are you kidding? Of course it was me that he asked about that. But 518-1410, 518-1410, that's the number to call in and jump in on the conversation. The old narrative about the Bengals was their struggles within primetime, right? Like they couldn't win when they were the team that everyone's eyes were locked in on. And tonight, I know it's primetime. I know it's Thursday night, but we'll see if that narrative still exists. I mean, a few years ago, Andy Dalton was still with the Bengals, and they beat the Ravens on, I think, Thursday Night Football. It was Baker's rookie year, because I remember the very next week is when Baker made his debut with the Browns when he came in against the Jets. But I know they've had primetime games since then, but that's the one that I remember most. Hell, they beat the Steelers in primetime last year, and they did that with a backup quarterback. So, and they won me some moolah, and that's all that
Pick
matters.
on Kev day.
So,
pick on Kev.
Dude, that is tough for you, though. Let's be honest. How do you sleep at night? You lost to the Bengals twice in the last year and the Browns twice in the last year.
I sleep well because I don't play. So I'm just a fan, just like everybody else. I don't get caught up in, I can't defend the indefensible. Like, what do people want me to say? They're terrible. They're terrible. Like, I'm saying exactly the same thing everybody else is saying from the other fan bases. Like, Ben's old. He looks done. Yeah,
Dunzo.
He does. What do you want me to say? He isn't? Now, would you want me to lie to you? And just because I'm a fan of the team, I can't do that to you. I can't do that to myself. Like, I'm a realist, man. They look horrible offensively. They don't look like they're going to win more than 4 games. It is what it is. I sleep like a baby.
Remember when you got mad at me in the summer when I said they'll be battling it out for last, and you're like, you got all butthurt about it. You got all upset.
Get butthurt. I said, we'll see.
Yeah, you were pouting. You wouldn't say
we'll
anything.
See.
You wouldn't talk. You were just like,
never. I said, we'll
scared.
see.
That's what it was.
I ain't scared. I just wanted to see it. I wanted to see if Kevin Colbert was able to do anything with that offensive line. And he hasn't been able to do.
Well, what were you expecting him to do with it when you have no resources?
Resources are resources.
Resources. But I mean, there wasn't a whole, and I get that all the time. How come I don't rip the Steelers for not addressing their O-line in the offseason, and I rip the Bengals? The Bengals had all that cap space, and they had a lot of draft capital as well. And for the Bengals, so that's why I'm critical of the Bengals, is because they had the resources and the money and the capital to get it done. The Steelers, they were having to really just kind of maneuver things. I mean, it took Big Ben reconstructing that contract a bit just to give him a little bit of cash, just so they could turn it all into that max contract, of course, for TJ Watt. And money was left on the table there, apparently. I guess TJ Watt, his attorneys, my goodness, his agents were telling him, hey, don't accept this deal. We can get you more. There is more money out there. And he went in there and said, forget it. Just, where do I sign? Let's just get this done and move on. And there you go.
And so, now he has a growing pool. And
he has his money.
Yeah, but that is also on Kevin Colbert, because you waited until the end of the season. Like, look, the season ended in January. It took you all the way until September to get the deal done with technically the second best defensive player in the league. You're going to re-sign him. You're not going to let him walk out the door. So just get the deal done. So now he's on the sideline, riding the bike, staying in shape that way, things that you and I could do and make ourselves feel better, like we're in great shape. But we're not going out there to play football, and he is. And now he pulls are growing. That's Kevin Colbert's fault as well. Get the deal done. There's no sense of playing and beating around the bush, just like the Minka Fitzpatrick deal. You traded first-round picks for him. You know you're not going to let him leave free agency. Get the deal done.
See, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. Like, there's part of me, I mean, when you give out draft capital, like sometimes teams are playing big picture. Sometimes teams are playing for the small picture, for the short term. Now the Steelers aren't known for their short term. Like they don't hit the reset button. When's the last time they rebuilt, Kev? Like they don't. Like they reload. They might have some down years while they bring in some pieces to fill some gaps. But, the only reason, to be fair, though, the only reason that the Steelers have been able to do that for as long as they have is because they've always had that quarterback. They've always been able to do that for quite some time. They might have down years with Big Ben. But again, when you have your quarterback, like once you get your quarterback, everything else is easy. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, well, how do the Browns go that long with being so bad? How do the Jets go that long with being so bad? How do these bad teams just be, because no matter what you do, if you don't have a quarterback, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. No matter what you do, no matter how many number 1 overall picks you have, no matter how many quarterbacks you draft number 1 overall, if that quarterback doesn't stick and that quarterback doesn't work, you're running in place. So every time the Jets draft a quarterback and it doesn't work out, they're running in place. They're not going anywhere. Every time the Browns drafted 85 different quarterbacks and signed 85 different quarterbacks and they didn't work, there was nowhere for them to go. As an organization, I'm not going to go spend money on linebackers and defensive linemen and offensive linemen and receivers. I'm not going to go spend money on any of that until I know that what I'm spending my money on is going to be worth it in the long run, because I need to know that we're going somewhere. I'm not just going to spend money if we're never actually going to be a team competing for the playoffs. And that's why when people say that Mike Brown is cheap for the Bengals, I don't believe he's cheap. I've never once said that Mike Brown's cheap. I think that he doesn't spend his money correctly. I don't think he does a great job spending his money, but he spends the money. They spent $200 million on their defense over the last 2 years. Like, he spends the money, folks. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, he will spend money. I never agree with anyone when they say that. It's just how you spend your money. Everyone can spend money. It's, do you spend it wisely? I don't think everyone does that.
I don't.
But the reason that the Bengals have been able to invest in the defense and everything else the way they have is because we got a quarterback now. Now I don't feel uncomfortable going after this guy, going after that guy. So for Pittsburgh, Kev, yes, they gave up a lot of draft capital to go get Minka Fitzpatrick and those guys, but they were going to get those guys because they knew they had a small window to win. The Buccaneers have a small window to win right now. That's why they're going all out and they're spending all this money and they're doing everything they can to get these guys to come to Tampa. Pittsburgh did the same thing with what limited resources they have. And then now that Big Ben is potentially done, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade Fitzpatrick. I wouldn't be surprised if they move on from some of these names, mainly because of the fact, what are you paying them for? What are you keeping them around for? You don't even know who your quarterback is. And until you have your quarterback, what's the plan? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to do? I think right now, until the Steelers have a quarterback, I don't really know what their next move is, to be honest with you. Because it's not Dwayne Haskins, and it's not, who's your next guy up? I always forget the guy Myles Garrett bashed with the
Mason
helmet.
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really curious the next move for the Steelers at this point.
You know who else don't know? The dude that gets paid to know. Kevin Colbert. He's supposed to know. That's his job. Just like it's your job to make sure this radio station is on the air. That's his job. His job to know. He got to figure it out. Everybody got a role to play. My role to play is to be a fan and watch the team and wave my terrible towel. His role, fix the team. That's his role. That's his job. Get it done.
Well, that's very vague and generic. I mean, you could say that about anybody. I mean, it was the Browns' responsibility to get it done, the Bengals to get it done. But clearly, can't get anything done until you get a quarterback. So that's really, I mean, that's why we talked yesterday about the Aaron Rodgers possibility. The draft doesn't look very promising as far as future stars, but to be fair, no one was looking at Big Ben when he got to Pittsburgh as a future Hall of Famer. There's Miami of Ohio quarterback. I mean, best player since that linebacker that played at Miami of Ohio. I can't remember his name.
That's the cradle of quarterbacks,
Johnny,
man.
little Johnny. That's who it was. Yeah.
Cradle of coaches. I'm sorry. Cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio, man. Pay some respect, man.
Fair enough. Coaches, fine. Larry Weaver on Facebook says, like Urban said, a quarterback is only as good as the players around him. And fair, but football's so interesting to me because we give way too much credit to one particular position when that one particular position needs people around him, but the people around him also need him to do his job. Like football fascinates me. Basketball, you could win with one player. Doesn't mean you could win a championship, but you could win. You could drop LeBron on a roster, Kevin Durant on a roster. You could drop some of these cats on a roster and they'll win, right? Like it doesn't mean they're winning a championship, but they're going to win. You can't put Patrick Mahomes on the worst roster in football. And like would the Jags have won any more games if they had Patrick Mahomes instead of Trevor Lawrence, Kev?
Less interceptions, I would assume. But shoot, he's thrown
9. Trevor Lawrence is thrown 9.
Oh,
I'm
I
sorry.
say like, whoa.
Patrick Mahomes, I think, is thrown 4 or 5.
4 or 5. So I'm doubtful.
But my point is like you can't. It's not Patrick Mahomes is as good as he is.
Point, yes.
Because in Kansas City he has players around him, but those players around him are also as good as they are because they have Patrick Mahomes. Those guys weren't elite with Alex Smith there. They were good with Alex Smith there. They became elite when Patrick was there. Patrick's good because those guys are there. I don't think it's one or the other. I mean, when we talk about which is more important to have, nobody in the NFL could be who they need to be without help around them, and that's really what it comes down to. Receivers are dependent on the quarterback. Quarterback success is dependent on the offensive line and playmakers around it. The running back, the passing game helps the running back. Running back helps the passing game. Everything works together. Football is the ultimate team sport. I love it for that very reason right there. But it's the ultimate team sport. But when everything's going well, we're only talking about one position. That's quarterback every single time. And that's really what it's going to come down to. Will Leamer on Facebook, Kev, says, Kevin Colbert will be in the Hall of Fame one day. Mark my words.
Probably. He's been there with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want to say, like 21 years, I want to say. Done some great hiring, done some great finds in the draft. But you can't tell me over the last 5 to 6 years that he's been himself in his first half of his tenure. Like, if you follow the team the way I follow the team, there's been a lot of misses and a lot of missteps. So he'll probably go to the Hall of Fame. Ain't no doubt about that. But nobody's above reproach. I mean, Big Ben's probably going to the Hall of Fame. we all saying he stinks right now, right? Like, so and nobody's above it. If somebody's not doing their job the right way and not bringing the best out of the team and not getting things done, then they need to be put on the on blast as well. You know, the money situation going on with the team, all that type of stuff, that's his responsibility to work it out. Making comments in the media talking about we got a bunch of kids in this locker room causes a divide in the locker room. And then you go off to your office and hide for 14 weeks. And then nobody's asking to speak to you, or you're not returning phone calls from the media. So that's not the way to handle things. Just because you're going to the Hall of Fame don't mean that you're above reproach. Eli Manning's going to the Hall of Fame too. He got bashed his last couple of years too. Everybody can get it if you're not doing your job the right way.
Yeah, but I think the reason people are skipping the general manager and just saying, well, the team's bad because the quarterback's not good. But I think that's realistic. I mean, they got his money, because here's what happens. The GMs can never win. The GMs are only praised in the first 4 years of a rookie quarterback's deal. And then after that, all we do is sit here and wonder, well, how come they don't have an offensive line? How come their cornerbacks aren't good? How come they don't have a good run game? How come they don't have good wide receivers? How come their special teams are so bad? Well, remember that quarterback you said if they don't get it done, it's the GM's fault and they should be out of here. Remember you wanted that? Yeah, once the quarterback gets money, look at the Seahawks, look at the Packers, look at everybody else. Super Bowls don't happen. And when Super Bowls don't happen, criticism starts. And when criticism starts, jobs start becoming open. And when jobs become open, new guys come in, and then they have to work with the same problems that were there before. Some of it, GM, yes, it's on them at the same time, but it really comes down to stop paying your quarterback so damn much money.
You don't want anybody to get paid. You don't want to pay the quarterback. You don't want to pay the running back.
No, I just think that it's if it's right in front of you, if all the data is showing that, hey, you know what? Teams don't win Super Bowls with max quarterbacks, and they don't. They in the last 20 years, they just don't. I mean, it's right there in front of you. And then if a GM or an owner says, we're going to go in a different direction, we're going to make sure our money's dispersed elsewhere, we're not going to give our quarterback the money, then they're the devil because they won't pay him. Jerry Jones, I can't believe he's not going to pay Dak. Dak's good. Very, very good. He's like Patrick Mahomes.
But he's the best quarterback the Cowboys has since Troy Aikman, by far.
Tony Romo, I like Tony Romo, but that's okay.
Couldn't get that job back. Couldn't get that job back from Dak.
Well, because also like Big Ben, he's done. He was donezo.
He wasn't done. I think he was hurt. I don't think he was done.
I think it made him be donezo.
No, I don't think he was done. I think athletically he had a lot left in his career, and I think Tony Romo, like a Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, had a lot of options on the table. And I think that Tony Romo was like, man, I don't need this, man. I don't need to be out here hurt. I want to play with my kids. I got a lot of options where I could make more money calling games on CBS than to be out here getting beat up left and right. He didn't become a
broadcaster until years after.
No, but I'm saying all those things are on the table. Mm-hmm. Like all those things are always on the table. Like Tony Romo's like a super athlete. Like we know about the golf game, but like all these things that I found out later after his career was over, like dude was like all state in basketball, had basketball scholarships and everything like that. Like when you're a guy like that, a Tony Romo with options and everything like that, it does get to a point where you just like, man, forget it. Like I'm not dealing with this. I'm not going to go into another situation and like, okay, Dak is having a great season, a rookie season with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm out, man. I'm good, man. Like you can do that when you got options. A lot of dudes like that, they don't have options that Tony Romo did. Tony Romo had a ton of options because from all accounts, man, he's I mean, we see him on TV every weekend. He's awesome. He's awesome on CBS, man. People tune in. Like he moves the needle. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of guys in sports really move the needle. Like he went to the #1 games off the rip. He worked with Jim Nantz off the rip because he moved the needle. And then on top of that, he's good. You know what I'm saying? He's good at his job. So when you got options, I think it's a lot easier to walk away from the game. Like, I don't think that Big Ben has a lot of options, like post-football. Like, I don't think like he has like this big media career ahead of him. I think we'll see him doing some Brett Favre type stuff, some Wrangler commercials, some chainsaw commercials or something like that. But I don't see him having a post-career like a Tony Romo or Peyton Manning or even an Eli Manning. Who knew Eli Manning was this funny? I sure didn't.
Nah, I mean, the Peytons, you know why Peyton and Eli are funny? because they're not funny. And that's what makes them funny. It's just a 3-hour dad joke show is all it is. I mean, it's unbelievable. Actually, that show's really neat.
Double birds.
And yeah, that was cool. He was doing sign language for Fly Eagles Fly the other night. It was pretty cool. You know why that Eli Manning thing works too, and the Peyton Manning thing? I feel like that works is because people are like, well, it's not polished enough. They don't really do good coming back from breaks and setting it to come. I'm like, that's why it works.
Right.
Because no one's tuning in to Eli Manning or Peyton Manning and expecting him to be a show host, a legitimate, journalistic show host. Like, that's not what their role is. Like, so we sometimes
you got the other broadcast for that.
Yeah, and that's fine. So I thought Will Kane the other day brought up a good point that he said, I know it's an unpopular opinion, but the Eli and Peyton broadcast is not for me, mainly just because when they're calling my team's game, I'm not into what they're having to say. I want to be locked in on the game. I want to hear what the broadcasters have to say. He goes, but if my team wasn't playing, I could watch Eli and Peyton do that for every single game.
Agree,
so I thought
100%.
that was fair.
Agree 100%.
If I'm watching the Browns, I don't care about their banter back and forth about LeBron James wanting to play. By the way, nope, staying on course here. I wouldn't want to watch the Eli Peyton thing for a Browns game, but if I'm watching any other game, I'm all for it. I find them very entertaining, and they're pointing out some things. Like when he started calling out Mike McCarthy the other night for not calling the timeout. I mean, in the middle of it, it was like Peyton was seething. I thought that was cool seeing his lifetime reaction right there.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like, it was like a whole 90 seconds left, right?
Yep.
Like, dude.
And Jerry Jones, of course, he says,
I'm out.
He goes, yeah, he has issues with time management, but so do a lot of coaches. Gotta love Jerry Jones.
And you know what? It's funny you bring that up because the week before, even though they end up winning the game, they won the game versus the Chargers on I want to say like a 48-yard field goal. They had timeouts then, and it could have got closer. And the reason why it's a big deal is because don't forget week 1, the same kicker missed a short field goal and an extra point. So yeah, he hit the one the other week and it won the game and everything like that, but yikes, man. You had timeouts in the bag. I want to say there was like 40 seconds left, and they were like, cool, we're kicking a 48-yard field goal. 48 yards is not a short chip shot, man. Maybe that's better for him. Maybe he doesn't hit chip shots. Maybe he hits long kicks better. I don't know.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. We had Jason Fitz on the show this week to recap week 3 of the NFL and look ahead to week 4 of the National Football League. We talked Joe Burrow. We talked the Bengals. We talked the OL. We talked Jamar Chase. We talked a lot. We'll get to that coming up at 4 o'clock, top of the hour. We have that Jason Fitz interview coming up for you as well. We'll get to some college football stuff coming up around the corner as well, but I definitely want to keep it locked in on this Burrow-Lawrence matchup tonight. Bengals, Jags. Bengals fans, let's hear from you. 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call in and join in on the conversation. Help us fill in the blank. The Bengals are going to blank tonight because what? Are the Bengals winning tonight? It seems like everyone has the Bengals winning. There's no way that the Cincinnati Bengals can lose to Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. How confident are you? Let's hear from you. 518-1410. The phone lines are open. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Hello, everyone. It's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Call me today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hi, John Glazer here for Glazer Soft Water. We've been making water great since 1988, and no matter what your water issues, we have solutions. Your city water can be clear, but still be hard and have the taste and odor of chlorine. Well water can look, smell, and taste terrible. Glazer Soft Water will fix your water and will even include a 7-year parts and labor warranty so you don't have to worry. Visit our website to learn more at glazersoftwater.com. Glazer Water really is better water.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
Oktoberfest at Milano's has begun. We're serving our once-a-year favorites like schnitzel sandwiches and German pizza. Get it to go or stay for the games with NFL Sunday Ticket. See you at Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps for big screen football.
OHMB 803-342 and MLS 304138. Do you need help with a loan to purchase or refinance your home? Have you applied for a home loan and been told you do not qualify for a loan? Are you a first-time buyer and have questions regarding the home buying process? Are you considering refinancing your existing home? Do you live in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Florida, or South Carolina? If you answered yes to any of the above questions, you need to call Forrest Ferris at 3rd Street Financial Home Loans at 513-320-5911, who is available 7 days a week to help you. We're 3rd Street Financial Home Loans, and Forrest Ferris specializes in approving home loans banks and other lenders cannot or will not approve. Some of our clients might have low credit scores, been through a divorce, want to buy a home for sale by owner, are in a land contract, or dealing with probate or estate homes. Call Forrest now for a free estimate, 513-320-5911. That's 513-320-5911. Offer valid for purchase or refinancing of homes located in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Florida, and South Carolina only. Minimum loan amount $60,000. Limitations and restrictions apply.
The Meyer Distribution Center in Tip City is hiring for warehouse positions in all units. Includes flexible schedules, best-in-class benefits, starting wages up to $18.60, and $2,000 sign-on bonus. Candidates can apply online at jobs.meyer.com. Keyword search distribution. Location Tip City. Or call 937-669-9109. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Walk-in interviews are available with on-the-spot job offers. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 937-669-9109. Meyer is an equal opportunity employer.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you've got a small business, you know there's nothing more valuable than your time. So why waste it at the post office? Stamps.com makes it easy to mail and ship right from your computer. No special equipment required. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. You'll even get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. And their new Rate Advisor tool lets you compare shipping rates across carriers so you always find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and when you go to Stamps.com and use offer code FOCUS, you'll receive a 4-week free trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code FOCUS. That's Stamps.com, promo code FOCUS. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Great tasting Ensure Max protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For consumer survey details, visit ensure.com.
Don't miss the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. college football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Don't read it. Don't read it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't read it. Don't read it.
Put my phone away. It is what it is. Bare essentials. Bengals Jags tonight, prime time. The Cincinnati Bengals looking to improve to 3-1 on the season. And again, I'll get in trouble for doing this, but it's fine. But like the schedule, what I'm concerned about is there's going to be a perception based on the schedule that the Bengals are better than they actually are. And I would be saying the same thing about the Cleveland Browns. But when you look at what's coming up, you beat Jacksonville 3-1, which I fully anticipate the Bengals beating Jacksonville tonight. Losing to Green Bay, that is expected. That's going to be 3-2, or 3-2 to start the season. But then you're at Detroit. Now you're 4-2, 4-3 with the loss at Baltimore, and then 5-3 with the win at the Jets. 5-3 halfway through, not bad. But here's what you have on the back end of that. You still have 2 with Cleveland. You have the Chargers. You have the Niners. You have the Broncos. You have Kansas City. The easiest game on that back half of the schedule, honestly, Kev, becomes your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So I anticipate a lot of John, a lot of Kinner, eat it. And all this 5-3 start to the season. I could see a 5-3 start to the season, but then I think that's when the wheels kind of come rattling off. Like I really do. But they should beat Jacksonville. They should beat Detroit. They should beat the Jets. But then in the back half of the season, starting in November, you have 2 with Cleveland still. You have Pittsburgh at home, which that should be, a winnable game right there. But the Raiders, first place right now. The Chargers, first place right now. The Niners, one of the top teams in the league. Denver, sitting at the top of their division. Kansas City, last place, Kansas City at that. But whatever, Kansas City, it's the damn Chiefs. And then Baltimore, 2 with Baltimore still. So the schedule is going to get tougher, which is why it's even more important to make sure you're taking care of business against the teams that you should beat. And that's the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight. So I'm curious, a lot of confident Bengals fans out there, but what are you worried? Is there anything about Jacksonville that has you a little concerned? 518-1410, 518-1410. Kev, let's go to the phones. Let's go to AJ. AJ, thanks for holding. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Good.
All right. So you said fill in the blank. The Bengals will, tonight? I think they will win. They will cover the spread, which is about 7.5 points. I am a little bit skeptical, though, because a lot of the prognosticators and the talking heads, everyone is taking the Bengals in this game. And, the way it works in kind of the betting public, a good rule of thumb is if the public, everyone in the public's going one way, you got to go the other way. So,
you don't make money if you go where everyone else is going. So that's a good piece of advice right there.
Yeah, I'm confident that they'll win. I'm pretty confident that they'll cover the spread. I mean, if you start looking at some of the analytics, the Jags are obviously terrible when it comes to just head-to-head, straight up. But even when it comes to looking at the spread, I think their last 10 games or 12 games or something, they're like 0-12 or 0-10 against the spread. So I'm confident the Bengals get a W tonight.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. I mean, the spread and everything like that. I think last week, the pummeling the Steelers the way that they did. And again, I'm not taking a shot here. I don't think they are as good as what they looked against Pittsburgh, but I also know they're not as bad as what they looked against the Bears. I think they're somewhere in the middle, and I'm trying to figure out somewhere in the middle, how much better is that than Jacksonville? They're still going to be better than Jacksonville, but we're waiting. I mean, we talk about Trevor Lawrence turning the ball over a lot. He's throwing for a lot of touchdowns. He has 9 touchdowns. All right, he's throwing for a lot of touchdowns too. So you don't have Bates tonight. Obviously, that's going to be, it's one of your best defensive player right there. And then you look at Cincinnati. I know they're playing solid defense statistically, but they're not forcing turnovers, and that's what Jacksonville does a lot of. But right now, Cincinnati has more turnovers than forced turnovers. They're going to have to force turnovers tonight to beat Jacksonville easily, and that's going to be tough without Bates back there roaming around.
Yeah, I think Owuzi's out too, but I have confidence in their front line that they'll get enough pressure on Trevor Lawrence. He still looks like he's got some touchdowns, but he still looks like he's trying to figure it out back there.
Yep, and it's going to be up to the Bengals to make sure to continue that pressure on him because he's a different player, that's for sure. Hey, AJ, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you.
Later, guys.
518-1410. More calls coming in. We'll continue to get to those. Let's go to Steve. Steve, thanks for holding, sir. How are you? All right, we'll go to Bob. Is this Bob?
Yes, it is. How do you know, man? That is awesome.
Yeah, I just felt
man.
We have a connection, man. I could just tell.
Kenner is Miss Cleo.
That is awesome.
Miss Cleo.
And
what was Miss Cleo saying? Was she who the photo of the baby? Was that her?
No.
Who's Miss Cleo?
She was a psychic lady. Had a 1-800 number.
Call me now. Call me now. Okay.
Yeah, Miss Cleo.
That fits Justin. That fits Justin. The psychic lady. That fits Justin. Now, let me say this. First of all, I want to say kudos to you. Earlier talking football, and you sounded like you had some common sense. Now, I know Kevin Nash always has sense, but you were calm and you were talking rational, good football. Of course, you turned to the Bengals and then you started getting crazy again. But I want to say kudos because I was standing. I'm in my car. If I wasn't in the car, I'd stand up and I would be applauding you for you talking rational football. That was awesome. That was awesome on your part. I do want to say this, though, and this is where I think sometimes you go wrong a little bit. You have a bad tendency of looking at last year and looking at people's records and saying, well, this should happen. This is a win. You can't do that in the National Football League. That doesn't play out like that. Any given day, anybody can beat anybody. Teams are very close. In fact, most of the time in an NFL game, you're talking 7 points or less for the most part. You don't see a whole bunch of blowouts in the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody. That's why turnovers in any game is always so important. And just to give you an example of that, last year when the Bengals played the Browns, let's be honest, the Bengals should have beat the Browns that second game. They had them beat.
Woulda,
a minute to go.
Coulda,
listen,
shoulda.
Well, that's my point. Well, then why, as bad as the Bengals were and as good as the Browns were, why there was only about 8 points in both games? They should have killed them.
Now let me interject here because this is where that common sense thing that you say I lack comes into play because common sense tells you that the strength of the Bengals matched up well with the weakness of the Browns last year because the Browns as a whole offensively, the Bengals couldn't stop the Browns. The Browns defense couldn't stop the Bengals. That was no secret last year. I never tried to pretend that the Browns defense was good. I kept harping on how bad the defense was all season long last year. But what I kept countering with is, well, teams are, the Browns, I'm worried about them stopping that team, but I'm also really not sure how that team's going to stop the Browns. And that was the narrative of the Browns last year. That's how they won 13 games. And that's why they still had a chance to beat the Chiefs. Everyone was so focused on how will the Browns stop the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Now, him being injured, that's the best way to stop Patrick Mahomes. But I was like, well, how's the Chiefs defense going to stop Baker and the Browns in the run game? And they didn't have an answer for that either. They just held onto the ball for the last 8 minutes of that damn playoff game, which I'm still salty about. But no, that's why. I mean, that's really what it comes down to is that.
I agree at that in turnover. So that's what I'm saying. You can't, it's nice to be able to look at a schedule and say, okay, this is a win, that's a loss. You can't do that. You can't. Every year is a different year.
I can do whatever I want, Bob. Come on.
You always do. That's why you're wrong a lot.
I'm not wrong a lot. Your team's won 6 games in 2 years.
Yeah, your team was 0-16 about 3 years ago. So
and then they got good players. It's as simple as that.
So that's my point. Year to year, everything's different. You're proving my point. That's the point.
No, because the Browns didn't become good overnight. They were 0-16. There was a transition in there. They had to get the players in place. They were moving along. You're saying like they were. Okay. You make it sound like they were 0-16 last year, and I'm trying to tell you that they're good this year. That's not even close to being the truth.
And everybody says that. We believe that. But again, my point is it's year to year. So even looking at this year, how good are the Raiders? I don't know. How good are the Broncos? Who have they beat? I don't know. They beat the NFL teams. But my point is you can't go down there and put checks on that. Before the Pittsburgh game, who would have put a check in the Bengals category? I don't care how bad Ben looked. Ben has looked bad the last couple of years, and we still couldn't beat him, so it didn't matter. But again, you can't put checks. That's all I'm saying. So even though the last half of the year looks a certain way, who knows? I don't know.
I love hearing how you Bengals fans compartmentalize things. It's adorable. You're not wrong. You make a lot of good, valid points, but there's a lot of compartmentalizing going on in there. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And at one point, Kev Nash made a couple weeks ago, and I didn't call in, but I thought it was excellent. Kev said, and he was talking about like when you were ragging on the Brown secondary. You said, the Brown secondary sucks. He paid that money, and they drafted them guys. And what did Kev say? Very sensibly, very calmly. Kev was like a young guy, and he came with the wisdom. What did he say? Give it 4 games. Give it 4 or 5 games, and then we can see who's who. And that's what I say. That's why I'm not even predicting tonight. Jacksonville could win. Who knows?
I'm with you, but the Bengals can't lose this game. They can't.
I agree.
But we all know.
But they could. You never know.
Exactly.
But
the thing is,
I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you bring up a great point about the NFL, man. Like, anybody literally can beat anybody. Like, last year, the Jets beat the Rams and everything like that. Like, wacky things happen in the NFL. Like, last year, the Browns lost to, who did they lose to? After the Raiders,
the Jets, I believe.
The Jets. They lost it. They lost the game.
The Texans. They beat the Texans. It was the Texans or someone crazy like that.
Quote unquote that they shouldn't have lost to.
It was Stebbins High School they lost. With the Browns, they'll do things like that. But look at last week. Detroit, should they be in a game with Baltimore? The dude has to hit a 90-yard field goal. It's garbage. So that's my point. You can't put no check. I bet Detroit put a check when that dude was lining up for that field goal, Mr. Atomic Leg Tucker. But that's my point. So bring it way down. We're going to go with what Kevin Nash said. Let's give it a couple more games, and then we'll see what's what, man. That's all. But continue, Justin. Work on continuing to talk calmly and having good football sense. But I think Kevin's starting to rub off on you. Kev, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. So that way, it's not just me have to call in and correct you. Kev's doing that for me. Thanks, Kev.
No problem.
Get out of here, Bob.
All right.
Good hearing from you. Take care.
All right, you too.
Later.
First of all, what did I say yesterday? You literally asked me yesterday. I do think that I think sometimes, I don't think you and I sound alike when we talk, but there are times where callers call in and they say, hey, I heard Kev say this the other day, and then they say what I said. And I think it's because they just assume I'm going to say something stupid. So when I do say something that makes sense, they just automatically credit to Kev. Because, Kev, what did we talk about yesterday? You asked me about when do records start mattering to me? When will I pay attention to records? I said 4 or 5 weeks.
4 weeks,
literally.
Yeah.
I said that yesterday because too many people were making too much of the Cincinnati Bengals being 2-1 and in first place. They're in first place. They're sitting atop. I mean, I keep seeing these graphics where the Bengals are sitting atop the AFC North 2-1.
They're for
Ravens,
clicks, man.
2-1. Browns 2-1. And everyone's like, oh, well, who's in first place? The Bengals are in first place. The Kansas City Chiefs are in last. Nobody believes that's a last place team any more than they believe that the Bengals are a first place team. So I said that yesterday, but apparently it made so much sense that Bob just had no faith that actually came from me and had to say Kev is clearly the smarter of the two, which he is, and they give you credit for it. So congrats. You get credit for all the smart things you say, and then the rare time that I make a good point, you still get credit.
Life is good. Life is good.
I ain't salty. I'm fine with it, As long as one of us is making good points and our ratings keep coming in and our revenue keeps coming in, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter who said what. But damn, Bobby, you got to – I said that. Maybe Kev said it too. 5-1.
Yeah, I'm definitely a 4-week in guy. I think it was early last week we were talking about when do we believe about a team and everything like that. And I said something around the lines of some teams – you know who they are right now. Like
they are who they thought we
definitely
were.
Right now. We know who the Pittsburgh Steelers are. They're not a good offensive football team. I think we know that the Browns are a good football team. And you taking a look around the league about the quote unquote up and comers. So we got question marks about the Denver Broncos still, because like, even though the Denver Broncos have won Super Bowls in their history, like this version of the Denver Broncos is quote unquote new money. Same way this version of the Bengals is new money. Like, so we're not all the way bought in, no matter if their record is 3-0. Just like the Panthers, they're 3-0, but they got Sam Darnold, he's a new quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, he's hurt, so they got to plug in Trevor Herbert. So it's like a lot of question marks. Yes, you got the 3 wins, and those are very important because you only get X amount of games in the NFL. This ain't NHL or the NBA where a team could go on a 5-game losing streak and still win the NBA championship. You lose 5 straight games in the NFL, you're probably not making the playoffs. So I think every single win is important because there's a finite of games and everything like that. And in the NFL, why it's so hard to get a win, you got to get them when you can. And on a Thursday night matchup where the number 1 overall pick is coming to your place, a rookie quarterback with a rookie head coach on a short week, you have to win this game. You got to rack up as many wins as possible because you ran down the schedule. They still got to play the Browns twice. They still got to play the Ravens twice. They still got to play Green Bay. They still got to play Pittsburgh Steelers one more time. They still got a lot of games that, in a quote unquote normal Cincinnati Bengal year, people probably would pencil that L in. But, since they got that win over the Steelers, things are perking up. Things are looking better. So maybe some of these games that we figure will go one way are a coin flip game, and they start to win some of those close games that they lost last year. So that's why getting these wins now is vital because you're going to get some losses. You're going to take some L's. So get the wins when you can.
And the Steelers are a prime example of that. Like, look how poorly they played the second half of last season. They had no business making the playoffs, but because they stockpiled all them wins in the 11-0 start.
Yes, sir.
Like, I agree. Like, that was not a playoff Steelers team last year. But again, it's not the college football playoffs for style points matter. It's simply about the W's and the L's. Yep. And the Steelers had enough W's when it was all said and done. 518-1410. We'll pause for 7 seconds for station identification.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio.
518-1410, talking Bengals Jags tonight. Again, I find this matchup very interesting for the quarterback matchup, but also because I believe the Bengals have a shot to win this. I don't think that's a hot take. That's not. I mean, look, I still think that the Jags, the Bengals don't force a lot of turnovers. The Jags turn the ball over a lot, and the Jags turn the ball over a lot against teams that force a lot of turnovers. The Bengals don't force turnovers. So we're going to find out tonight, like, are the Jacksonville Jaguars shooting themselves in the foot, or has it literally been opposing defenses just, ripping it from them? If the Bengals could do what they did against Pittsburgh last weekend, it's going to be a long night for Trevor Lawrence. But we're going to find out tonight, Kev, were the Steelers just playing bad or were the Steelers just bad? Because there is a little bit of a difference. Like, teams have off nights. Yeah. Last year, the Rams were the top teams in the NFL, lost to the Jets. No one believed that the Jets were better than the Rams, but the Jets beat the Rams last year because they played bad that day. The Rams weren't bad. They played bad and lost. The Steelers, I don't think, are anyone's Super Bowl pick by any means, but we'll find out tonight. Did Cincinnati just go and rip it from them, or did Pittsburgh play a role in giving it to them a little bit too? We'll find out tonight against Jacksonville, because if Cincinnati can welcome in Jacksonville tonight and just rip, go for their throats like they did against Pittsburgh, my tune's going to change, because I'm not going to say, oh, well, they beat up on a bad Jacksonville team. No, because now things are rolling in the right direction.
Right.
Because good teams are supposed to beat bad teams.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to discredit a win if Cincinnati blows out Jacksonville, because I'm going to say, okay, you may have played 2 bad teams back to back. You may have played 3 straight bad teams, losing to the Bears, of course. But if you throttle the Steelers at Pittsburgh and then you return home and throttle the Jaguars, now you have my attention. My ears are perked after what we saw against Pittsburgh, but my attention, it'll be fully grasped if they take care, not just win. They can't win by a field goal tonight and then you be chirping to me tomorrow. It's going to come down to if they physically and skillfully dominate the Jaguars tonight and show that there is a gap between good and bad teams, I'll be impressed. But if this is one of those 2 bad teams playing one another and somebody has to win, you're not going to hear me giving them the benefit of the doubt. I promise you that much. 518-1410. Kev, who is on line 2?
We got Ryan.
Ryan, welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Do I sound all right?
You probably sound better than me. I promise you that much. But yeah, what do you got for us? You sound good, man. You sound good.
I'm walking out of Kroger, so I didn't want to, all that bullshit.
What'd you get? What's in the cart? What's on the list today? It was a honeydew list, a drink list for the night?
It's a little bit of both. We're all out of pop, so I got some zero sugar Pepsi, Dr. Pepper. And then it's taco
crazy
night,
tonight, huh?
Yeah. And then it's taco night, so there's ground turkey because we use that instead of beef.
Nice.
Ground turkey, no sugar in your pop. Man, It's okay.
I'm a big man. I'm trying to lose some weight.
I don't. I'm down 40, so I can support that. My fiance is a vegetarian, so I have to scrounge for myself most nights. So there you go. But all right, man, what do you got for us?
I just wanted to say, I think tonight is going to be an indicator on how I feel about this season because I have low expectations as a Bengals fan. So I think if they stop the Jaguars, I think they probably get to 10 wins if they stop the Jaguars, because then I think they're good enough to maybe steal a game from the Browns, steal a game from the Ravens. If it's a close win or a loss, I'm predicting like 7-10. Like, it's, to me, this is a good stepping stone game because this is a bad Jaguars team. Urban Meyer shouldn't be coaching in the NFL. A controversial take maybe, but the dude doesn't belong. So that's just how I'm feeling about it. I'm not confident. I'll be happy with the third place season. I know this isn't a great Bengals team.
Yeah, I don't know. I came in saying that this is a horrible Bengals team. I want to believe that because, I'm a hater, right? Like, that's how it works. But no, at the end of the day, like the defense, I came into the year saying the defense better. I mean, everyone's like, Kinner, you said the defense was going to be bad. They better be good. You spent $200 million on that defense the last 2 years. Yeah. Like, it's not acceptable to be average even. Like, the Bengals defense better be top 10. And if not, that's bad money spending as far as I'm concerned. And then the offense, there's no excuse. You have 3 very, very good receivers. You have a very, very good running back. You have one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. There's no excuse for the Bengals to be bad, but I just don't trust them. And tonight, like I said, beating it by a field goal is not good enough.
I don't trust Zach Taylor, which is part of the why. If they go 7-10 and they don't make the playoffs, I hope that's the nudge to let Zach go and hire the guy out of Kansas City who hasn't gotten a job yet, who should have. Like, that would be a great hire. Yeah, I think that would be
Bieniemy. Bieniemy might say, if Bieniemy, this is his only offer, he'll probably take it. But if I'm Bieniemy, I'm gonna be like, where were you the first time? Now all of a sudden I'm the hottest attraction out there. Now you want me? No, I'm good. I could take my talents elsewhere. But that makes a lot of sense. My hot take the other day was Sean Payton. Sean Payton's run in New Orleans has been very, very long. You clearly don't have Drew Brees anymore. I think he wanted to test this year to see if Jameis Winston can turn it around or Taysom Hill's the real deal. We don't know if by the end of the year they're just average and it doesn't seem like they're on the path to a Super Bowl. I could see him saying, you know what, I need fresh scenery. And you look around the NFL, there's no better spot than Cincinnati right now when you look at all of the young pieces they have at those key positions. So that's a long shot. It's a hot take at that, man. But I think it's interesting to look at.
Give me some help. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
Hey, you too, AJ, take care, or Ryan, or whoever the hell we're talking to right now. Ryan, my bad, Ryan. I wrote. I predict the last caller, and then I totally butcher him. Okay. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. You hear the music. That means it's time to welcome him in. We got the true American. What up, dude?
What's up, interim sports talk host?
Interim sports talk host. I need to get Mikey and you on the phone.
That's your guy's new title, man. That's your guy's new title.
I think a lot of Bengals fans hope that's true, actually.
First and foremost, Bengal fans, slow your roll a little bit. You're not in first place. You're tied. There's a difference, folks. You're not in first place. So until you get there, which you ain't going to get there, so live your little dream.
They might be in first place tonight, though, Steve, to be fair. Like, they're going to be 3-1 most likely tonight.
Okay. No, I don't know. No, I'm not. No, that's not the way I roll, dude. Okay. Not the way I roll. And long story short, and if they are in first place, what's first place in the Pop Warner League, dude? I mean, you got St. Rita School for the Deaf down there. What's some of the other schools that's in that league down there that Cincinnati plays in? So, Bengals fan, just don't be getting your Super Bowl tickets yet, because you ain't gonna get them this year, and you probably ain't gonna get them next year. And if you don't take care of that offensive line, Burrow's going to be done by the end of this year, and then you're going to be looking for another franchise quarterback. So just calm it down, folks, because it amazes me, man. When they win a couple games, they're hoodooing everywhere. And then when down just like down here in Springboro, man, every Sunday, we used to have this hooday bus. I ain't seen that hooday bus. I think it's rusting in a junkyard somewhere. I ain't seen it for 5 or 6 years. So just slow your roll, bunghole fans. Hey, I'll let you guys
No,
go
real
there.
quick. Hey, hold up. David Shaw on Facebook says, you're one to talk. When the Browns lose, we don't hear from you. But when the Browns win, you're barking.
No. That's not true. You know me and Swimmers know me. This Shaw guy, go ahead and put him on the hamburger grill list, too.
He's the worst.
He's a jackass. He's a jackass later.
Lord.
Shaw, I'm sorry. Shaw didn't actually say that. I just threw him. I threw him under that Houday bus. Ron Broadstock on Facebook says, this is Rich coming from a Browns fan. They did the same thing for years. I would love to know what you mean by they did the same thing for years, because to be fair, whenever the Browns went 0-16, they won 7 games the next year. No one was chirping Super Bowl or playoffs. Everyone was just excited to watch their quarterback. And then the second you get excited, you would say, oh, well, he hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't done anything yet. And then when he would do something, it's, oh, well, let's see if he makes the playoffs. And he makes the playoffs. So let's see if he wins in the playoffs. And he wins in the playoffs. Well, let's see if he can get to the Super Bowl. Let's see if he can get to the AFC title game. Like, we keep moving the goalposts. Like, that's a weak argument. I love when people do that, because at the end of the day, every fan base is like that. Every fan base. Bengals fans, you're obnoxious. But you know what? So are Browns fans. I know it. Cowboys fans, absolute worst. Every fan base out there is horrible. I mean, you got the Jets fans. They've been quiet for, I mean, they have the longest drought the longest active playoff drought right now at 10 years. The first time they make the playoffs coming up, they'll chirp. I don't even know Jets fans. I don't even know if they exist around here, but I promise you, the second they do make the playoffs, we'll have Jets fans calling into the show like we do for Ravens, like we do for the Raiders, like we do for Kansas City. It's crazy, all the different fan bases we have that listen to the show. We have Niners fans that call. Like, I'm telling you, every fan base is like that. It's not just the Bengals, and it's definitely not just the Browns. I love when the Browns fans, they only, who said that last week? Someone said, like, oh yeah, we only hear from you when they're good. Well, to be fair, that's a really stupid comment, because that's just common sense. Every fan base is like that. When you're 0-16, there's nothing to bark about. What are you going to say? Oh, well, we're still really good. No, like, of course, it's common sense. Bengals fans, you use that as like a burn, some kind of burn of like, oh yeah, well, when you were 0-16, and then when you started winning, you started talking. Yeah, that's how it works. I saw somebody else get mad at me on the Facebook page, say he doesn't listen to me anymore because I keep talking about the Bengals offensive line, that I'm beating a dead horse. That doesn't make any sense. Have you ever wondered about that saying, oh, you're beating a dead horse? We only use that whenever we are explaining something we don't like hearing. Because I talk about the Browns run game all the time. I've never heard a Browns fan say, oh my God, Kenner, we get it. The Browns have a good run game. You're beating a dead horse. No. It's only crybabies that use that saying because they're tired of hearing the truth about their team. So, like, we got to stop with this finger pointing stuff. Oh, that's Rich coming from a Browns fan. That's, I do it too. Bengals fans, I haven't heard from you in a while. Now you're chirping again. Actually, that's not true. Bengals fans have been chirping even when they won 6 games in 2 years. They were telling me the second Burrow got drafted, they were going to win the Super Bowl last year. But we say that about every fan base. It is what it is. But Steve from Springboro, holy moly. Forrest Frady says, best phone call ever, y'all. You hear that, Steve from Springboro? You got some supporters.
Legend.
Shaw, you should not have poked the bear, man. Yeah.
You dirty for that. You're dirty for that.
Ron Broadstock, I realized I was just pointing out the hypocrisy. Oh, Ron, yeah, to be fair, I agree with you. But the hypocrisy is everywhere, man. That's how every fan base is. Like, yeah, like I'm just saying, like USC fans in college, Michigan fans, they've kind of died down a bit. I actually missed the day when Michigan had a chance to win in the Ohio State game, because back then it was fun chirping at the Michigan fans. Now it's not fun. Like, whenever we bring up like, oh yeah, Michigan sucks, like that's not fun anymore. I don't know about you. I just feel like you're kicking a guy while he's down.
Take that.
Yeah. Like it drives me nuts. I went to a WWE pay-per-view in Columbus last week. And, one of the heels, when the baby face, they turn their back and then the heel comes and knocks him down. Like that's Ohio State fans knocking down. That's not a fair fight. Wait till they stand back up and could at least, look at you straight in the eye before you start swinging again. I mean, my goodness.
Be a man, look him in the eye.
It's not even a fair fight. Just saying. Oh, Shaw's like, what did I do? You ticked off the true American, Shaw. That's what you get for running your mouth yesterday, by the way. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Kev and I will be back in a moment. 518-1410. Continue talking Jags Bengals tonight. But yeah, like I said, your thoughts on this matchup with the Jaguars tonight. I get it. The Jaguars aren't a good football team. But if you want me to believe that your team is a good football team, then you got to prove it tonight by not just winning, but dominating. Because if you just beat Jacksonville by a field goal, that means 2 of the last 3 weeks you lose to a very bad Bears team. Then you only win by a field goal against the Jaguars. You dominate the Steelers in the middle, but was that dominating the Steelers, or were the Steelers just not playing well? Because the Jaguars don't have a win. They haven't been playing well at all. It shouldn't take 4 quarters to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars if the Bengals fans who come at me all the time to say how great they are, if they're as good as what you say, we shouldn't be watching 4 quarters of Bengals Jags tonight. That's all I got to say. We'll be back in a moment. I'm not even going to let Kev count it.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
The sound of you doing is music to our ears. Order on the Home Depot app and get same-day delivery, so you don't have to stop doing when you need something. The Home Depot app, how doers get more done.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice from movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on-demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
Frickin' football is here. Frickers has the games on all the screens, and you score with savings. Enjoy your favorite ice-cold domestic draft personal pitchers for only $6.50. A 48-ounce personal pitcher for only $6.50. And enjoy a plate of your favorite frickin' nachos for just $7. Take your frickin' pick. Frickin' chicken nachos, Mississippi barbecue nachos, or Nacho Supreme, only $7. This season, don't just be a football fan, be a Nacho fan. At the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Hustler Turf commercial mowers are built tough to work hard. Whether you need a fleet of mowers or are a one-man show, you don't have time for downtime. Hustler mowers are over-engineered, overbuilt, and tested well beyond what is required, with the most complete lineup in the industry, including exclusives like a 104-inch Super 104, an 88-inch stand-on, and industry-leading warranties. Hustler mowers are ready to handle what you throw at them. Build your fleet to be reliable and versatile with Hustler Turf. Visit Small Engine Service Pros in New Carlisle today.
Don't go it alone in your job search. It's time to get to know Express Employment Professionals. Find the location near you at expresspros.com. No fees for job seekers. expresspros.com.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, a high near 80. Tonight will be mostly cloudy, a low near 50. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces at your home, office, or commercial property. Introducing infrared patching, a new technology for your property. This service and more at culletsealcoating.com.
Want to learn a new language so it will actually stick? Try Babbel. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people, so everyone can get the help they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning style, Babbel gives you the tools you need. Babbel, more ways to learn. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay, vacation, safety bonuses, and now has a rider policy. Call Rick or Joe at 937-294-5933 and ask about the $5,000 sign-on bonus today.
Frickin' football is here. Frickers has the games on all the screens and you score with savings. Enjoy your favorite ice-cold domestic draft personal pictures for only $6.50. A 48-ounce personal picture for only $6.50. And enjoy a plate of your favorite frickin' nachos for just $7. Take your frickin' pick. Frickin' chicken nachos, Mississippi barbecue nachos, or Nacho Supreme, only $7. This season, don't just be a football fan, be a Nacho fan. At the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
I'm Clerk of Courts Mike Foley. And I'm Kettering Clerk Rob Scott. Do you have outstanding court costs and fines? From October 18th to October 29th, you can come into any of the municipal courts in Huber Heights, New Lebanon, or Kettering and pay off half of your fines and costs, and the other half will be waived. Also, if you have a warrant, you can come in and we can get that taken care of. Falling leaves equals falling costs. You need to harvest this incredible deal. Brought to you by Clerk of Courts Mike Foley and Kettering Clerk Rob Scott.
Great tasting Max protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Max protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For consumer survey details, visit Ensure.com.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
As we all thought, the Tom Brady return to Foxborough was getting a lot of play. And, you want to talk about ticket prices and stuff. By the way, I'm going to be in LA this weekend, and we're going to go to Dodger Stadium on Sunday. But we started looking at, I'm like, the Lakers are playing in a preseason game. I know it's preseason, but I'm like, it'd still be pretty damn cool to watch the Lakers at the Staples Center. So I'm like, preseason. I'm like, what's the price of preseason NBA tickets? I mean, we're talking maybe what, $25, $50. I'm like, okay, cool. Started looking up tickets. I was going to get tickets. My friend Allie Clifton, she's the Spectrum host out there. Went to high school with her. I was going to reach out to her about getting some tickets or whatever. She's like, what? Have you looked at the price of preseason tickets? So I thought she was saying, like, just buy them. Like, they're that cheap. Just buy $350 NBA preseason for Lakers preseason tickets. Yep.
They know LeBron's not playing, right? Like, he'll go out there, do the layup line, maybe play like 2 seconds in the first quarter.
Yeah,
they know that,
pretty
right?
much. $350.
They know Anthony Davis is not playing at all, right?
I mean, that's the case. I mean, they charge full price in regular season. He don't play in that either. So let's just be
goodness.
So how about
gracious.
this? So the average ticket price, I bring that up because I'm always fascinated by the how ticket prices are pushed, like and like what pushed. I mean, it's simple supply and demand. I get all that, and the demand of the tickets for different games, and every game has different draws that make one game more desirable than others. But Tom Brady making his return to Foxborough. We knew this was going to be big from the time that he left Foxborough. It signed with the Tampa Bay Bucks, not just went to the Bucks, but won a Super Bowl with the Bucks, and he looks even better with the Bucks now than he did the final couple years with the Patriots. It's unbelievable. The average ticket price, Kev, to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady and his return to face the Patriots on Sunday night is $1,100. Which ranks among the most expensive ticket for any sporting event in Boston area history, according to Vivid Seats. It says that the only game that tops it is Game 7 of the 2019 Stanley Cup Final, when the St. Louis Blues beat the Boston Bruins at an average price of $1,800 per ticket.
I would have thought baseball. I would have thought one of the Red Sox games would have been more.
I'm sure that at the time that was considered record high, but I'm assuming that the Red Sox, how long has it been since they've been to the World Series? It's not that long. It was within this last decade.
Let's see.
But see, the reason I'll never believe baseball being that, well, then again, I was going to say because it's a series, but NHL, hockey, it's a series, so that wouldn't make sense either. That is interesting.
I would have put all my money on the Red Sox.
On the Red Sox?
Yeah, 100%.
I would have said the Celtics. Well, the Celtics haven't won a title since 2008, so inflation, I mean, tickets automatically, you know. But that's why I want to know. I can't remember the last time the Red Sox were in the World Series because I'm with you. I would have put that up there.
18.
And 18. Oh, my God. What is wrong with me? That's like 3 years ago. Well, to be fair, this last year and a half has seemed like 5 years. So let's just be real. But yeah, 1,100 tickets if you want to go watch Tom Brady in Foxborough. If you have an extra $1,100 for one ticket. I mean, my goodness.
Going along.
That's unbelievable as far as that's concerned. And, you know, every once in a while, I do love going down the list and looking at how much tickets are to go to, particular games and everything. So, Kev, for tonight in Cincinnati, Jaguars, Bengals, what do you think tickets are as low as? Tickets are going for as low as blank for tonight's Bengals home game against the Jags. Again, two bad teams, a lot of losing in these teams' histories. Not a lot of expectations for either of these teams, but the two draws are, of course, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall pick of 2021, and the 2020 number 1 overall pick, Joe Burrow. How much is that matchup worth, do you think? What's the lowest ticket price you think that it's going for right now?
$85.
69. Nice. $69 to go to the Bengals game here tonight. Let's go down this list. How about the Bears right now, Kev? They welcome in the Lions. You want to talk about a super unappealing matchup. I mean, my goodness. The Bears and the Lions this weekend. I have no interest in this game whatsoever.
Where is it?
It's in Chicago. I have no interest in even watching this on my television set, and I'm pulling for Justin Fields. But I'm just going to look at the box score later. The Bears welcome in the Lions. Tickets are as low as what for this game?
$55.
Remember how bad the Bears played last week?
Mm-hmm.
They return home, and tickets are as low as $102.
Ooh-wee.
My goodness, it pays.
Shot down.
I mean, imagine if both of those teams or one of those teams was good. And this is interesting to me. So the Cowboys welcome in the Panthers. Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, Cowboys, Panthers, Jerry's World, AT&T Stadium. Tickets are as low as what? If you want to watch the Cowboys at Jerry's World against the Panthers and Sam Darnold, tickets are as low as what, Kev?
Everything's big in Texas. I'm going to go with $120.
Dude, it's $38 for a ticket to watch the Cowboys play the Panthers. This is so crazy to me. How
this is insane.
Yeah, that's why every once in a while I like kind of jumping in here and seeing where it's at. $24 to watch the Dolphins and the Colts.
Yeah,
but that makes
sense.
Sounds
about right.
But the Bears and the Lions, my goodness. The Saints, New Orleans, welcome in the Giants. Tickets are as low as what to watch the G-Men?
Now this is their first game back at the Superdome, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go with $90.
$41. $41. To go to MetLife Stadium to watch the Jets as they welcome in the Titans. Tickets are as low as?
It's NYC. I'm gonna imagine $100.
$22.
Oh my goodness. I'm terrible at this game.
No, to be honest, I wouldn't be able to.
This is amazing because you look at the Chicago, you look at that price, and I was like, okay, well, fine. That's a big city and everything like that. So obviously the New York situation would be just the same, right? Wrong. $20 to go to an NFL game. Goodness, it's gonna have nice weather this weekend. This is still October.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, like I said, I'm a little salty. I was like, I've never been to LA. Going to LA this weekend, I was like, I want to watch NBA. I want to go to the Staples Center. I want to watch a game at Staples. $350 for preseason tickets. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I wouldn't even pay that for regular season tickets there. So we're gonna go to Dodger Stadium instead. Tickets $35 to go watch the Dodgers this weekend. I'll definitely take that. Let's see, the Rams, to watch the Rams at home with the Cardinals, $68.
Okay.
The 49ers play the Seahawks. That's a big divisional showdown right there. I like that matchup. $95 at 49ers. The Broncos, to watch the Broncos and the Ravens, it's $115 for Mile High. How about this one? Yours Pittsburgh Steelers are on the road playing at Green Bay at Lambeau Field. To watch the Steelers and the Packers at Lambeau Field, how much do you think tickets are as low as?
Those people are crazy. Pittsburgh Steelers fans are crazy. They travel like maniacs. I'm going to go $100.
$112, close enough.
About time I got close.
So what I'm confused on too, that article that talked about tickets are going for $1,100. I mean, those are the higher end seats though, because according to this, tickets are as low as $253 for the Bucks and the Patriots at Foxborough. So you can get tickets to watch the Patriots and Bucks in Foxborough, but minimum $253. So you can go watch the Titans play at MetLife against the Jets for $23, or you can go watch Foxborough. Go to Foxborough, watch the Bucks and Patriots. Much better matchup, bigger stars, two good teams, of course. $253, but that's a significant minimum.
So, question for you: no matter who the opponent is, the Browns are in the AFC Championship game in Cleveland. How much would you be willing to pay for tickets?
$250 would be my minimum for a ticket.
The maximum. I'm sorry.
Oh, maximum $250. I will not. Again, I'm a ticket snob. I would have a hard time paying $250 to still sit up high. To be honest, like if I'm going to pay a lot, it better be one hell of an experience. And that's just how I am. It's not that I'll pay whatever for anything. It better be worth it. And I don't think that no matter what kind of game it is, $250 for a ticket to sit up in the nosebleeds is just not. It's not.
You'll be in the Muni lot because you wouldn't be getting tickets for $250 if the Browns are in.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I get it. How about this matchup? The Chargers and the Raiders. They welcome in the Raiders to their own city. I don't get it. But the Chargers and the Raiders, SoFi Stadium in California. Tickets as low as what, Kev?
$80.
$209. It's the second highest ticket this weekend.
That's got to be because of the Raiders, right? Because
I think it's because it's just two West Coast teams on the same state. I think they're just capitalizing on if Chargers fans.
Who are the Rams playing then?
The Rams are, where did they go? Does the bye week start this week?
The Rams on the road. Never mind.
Oh, no, they're at home. I'm sorry, they're at home. They play the Cardinals because it's Monday Night Football.
Okay,
that's why Monday. That threw me off. Good call, because I'm like, wait a minute, the Rams are at home against the Cardinals. $68 for that matchup.
You would think that matchup it's got to be because it's the Raiders are involved, man. It's got to be.
I think that it's Monday Night Football and it's the same market. I think they're capitalizing on. Either Raiders fans will fill this place up, Chargers fans will fill it. Someone's going to fill it up. We're just going to go with it. Like there's going to be a line.
That's a good point because I don't know any Arizona Cardinals fans, and Arizona's like right next to California too. So I know that's like a 2-hour flight from Phoenix to LA, and only like a 3-hour drive from Vegas to LA. So yeah.
So the Browns play at the Vikings. How much do you think it is to watch the Browns play at the Vikings at US Bank Stadium?
It's not cold yet. I'm going to say Stefanski's back. $75.
$47.
What?
If this was The Price is Right, you wouldn't even make it to like
I know.
the finals.
I know. I'm
And
terrible at
I'm not saying like I would do any better. There's no pattern here. Like nothing makes sense.
Only
like,
thing I'll be saying to Drew Carey is, I'm from Cleveland too.
Cleveland rocks, baby. So Jake Mellon on Facebook, Kev says, diehard Browns fan here. I'd pay $1,000 for a seat around the 50-yard line in the AFC Championship without blinking. So no, and that's fine. Like I said, there are things that, man, what would I spend? I'm one of those where I don't like to put prices on family time, vacations with family, nor am I going to do stuff like my one buddy. We just went to Florida and we were asking about the price to go do something. He goes, well, you didn't come to Florida to save money.
Right.
And I'm like, that's actually a great point. Like you don't go on vacation, like you save to go on vacation. So that's where, to me, like no matter what things that we do on vacation, I'm not saying we spend money down, but I'm like, it's anything's worth it. Like you're creating memories to me are always worth it. So if I'm just going to watch the Browns, to me, I'm not going to spend a lot on it, but if it's me and close friends or me and family or somewhere I can go create memories with people, then I'll put a lot more money on that. I'll getting all sentimental here. But no, experiences with close friends and family, I will definitely pay way more for that. But if you mean, hey, I have one ticket for $1,100 to watch the Browns in the Super Bowl, will you take it? No, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. But if I had a chance to go with people that I know and it would be a memory and experience and all that, sign me up. Sign me up.
See, I'm a convenience guy. Like, let's just say, for instance, I was a Cincinnati Bengals fan and it's only an hour drive away. If they made it to the AFC Championship game, I will be willing to pay $300.
300?
Yeah, for an AFC Championship game. Like, we talked about this with Ohio State, like, you know, the big matchup coming up against Penn State. Ohio State's wearing their all reds. We looked at some of the tickets on the aftermarket price. They're like, what, like $150 a piece. Like, I'm not paying that for a regular season game. I'm just not. Like a national championship game, if Ohio State gets back to the national championship game, let's say it was in Indianapolis, I will be willing to drop $700 for that.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. We'll continue talking some NFL. I want to take a look at some of these prices for these college games coming up, but we'll give our Week 4 NFL picks. It's Week 4. The NFL season kicks off tonight. The Jags and the Bengals. Everyone's favorite to win tonight is the Bengals, rightfully so. We'll talk about that, but we're going to give our Week 4 picks. We again got to talk about going to LA. I couldn't believe how expensive preseason Lakers tickets were. Unbelievable. Started going down the list of ticket prices for some of these Week 4 NFL matchups. Unbelievable. We'll take a look at some of these prices for some of these college games. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but Kevin and I will give you our Week 4 picks. Plus, take your calls at 518-1410. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Oktoberfest at Milano's has begun. We're serving our once-a-year favorites like schnitzel sandwiches and German pizza. Get it to go or stay for the games with NFL Sunday Ticket. See you at Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps for big screen football.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-519-0449. That's 1-800-519-0449. Or go to selectquote.com. That's 1-800-519-0449.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
If you've got a small business, you know there's nothing more valuable than your time. So why waste it at the post office? Stamps.com makes it easy to mail and ship right from your computer. No special equipment required. Whether you're an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easier. You'll even get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. And their new Rate Advisor tool lets you compare shipping rates across carriers so you always find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and when you go to Stamps.com and use offer code FOCUS, you'll receive a 4-week free trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top and enter code FOCUS. That's Stamps.com, promo code FOCUS. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized all day. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't give up.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Don't go it alone in your job search. It's time to get to know Express Employment Professionals. Find the location near you at expresspros.com. No fees for job seekers. expresspros.com.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice from movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on-demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at DirecTV.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package and location. Restrictions apply.
O'Reilly.
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That means you can get up to a $25 gift card after mail-in rebate with the purchase of your Superstart battery. Return power, performance, and reliability to your car, truck, motorcycle, and more with Superstart batteries. Only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf zero-turn mowers. They engineer their mowers to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler Turf zero-turn mowers deliver professional grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. Come in to Small Engine Service Pros to see the Hustler difference for yourself today. Small Engine Service Pros, 2030 North Dayton Lakeview Road, Route 235 in New Carlisle.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay, vacation, safety bonuses, and now has a rider policy. Call Rick or Joe at 937-294-5933 and ask about the $5,000 sign-on bonus today.
Hello, I'm Clerk of Court Rob Scott, serving Kettering, Centerville, Moraine, and Washington Township. From October 18th to October 29th, you can come to Kettering Municipal Court and pay off half your fines and costs, and the other half will be waived. There is nothing to fear. Come pay off half your fee.
This is brought to you by Rob Scott, Clerk of Court.
Great tasting Max protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Max protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For consumer survey details, visit Ensure.com.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. We're live. We're local. What are you gonna miss? He struck him up. We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Now, let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see right there. That's exactly. I was waiting for a sign from above to come down to tell me why the Bengals are not going to beat the Jaguars tonight. And our good friend of the show, Jay Morrison, comes through in the clutch. The Bengals have lost 7 consecutive games against rookie quarterbacks. Going back to last year, Kev, or going back to 2017, they lost to Mitchell Trubisky. They, of course, lost to Lamar Jackson, my favorite. They lost twice to Baker Mayfield in his rookie year. They lost to Kyler Murray. They lost to Gardner Minshew. And they lost to Tua Tagovailoa. Will it be 8? Will Trevor Lawrence be added to this list of 7 consecutive games that the Bengals have lost against rookie quarterbacks? Trevor Lawrence, will he be number 8? Will the Bengals put an end to that streak, losing streak against these pesky little rookie quarterbacks that they can't seem to stop? Kevin, does that streak end tonight? Do the Bengals beat the Jaguars? We're just going to start it off just like that. Are the Bengals going to beat the Jaguars here tonight? I'm just curious.
Yes, the Cincinnati Bengals will win tonight because the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have the necessary parts around the young quarterback for them to get a win. And more importantly, it's earlier in the season, and the Cincinnati Bengals think they're going to the playoffs. That confidence can win you games. That confidence going into games, knowing you're going to win, like you're believing you can win a football game. You know, a lot of those games, they lost their rookie quarterbacks. It's later in the season and everything like that. So that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on them being prepared to play, and I'm banking on them having that confidence after that big win over the Steelers last week to get this monkey off their back, losing to a bunch of rookie quarterbacks.
So what do the Jaguars have to do to beat the Bengals then?
Oh, don't turn the ball over.
Score more points than them.
Don't turn the ball over, for goodness sakes. Don't throw any interceptions. If Trevor Lawrence can chill out on the interceptions and run the ball, they can win the game. But I just don't see him not throwing. He's throwing an interception in every single game. I mean, I know it's only been 3, but obviously had 3 in week 1. And dang, hold on.
He has 9 interceptions.
Yeah, he has 9. I got to look at that box score to see how many. I mean, go to the next game. I gotta do deep dive.
And
I'm about to deep dive on my phone because the internet.
You just got to have that internet to help you kind of back yourself up a little bit with some of this stuff. But what's fascinating about this too? I mean, right now, for me, I tell you, while you're looking that up, we'll just transition over to the next game here because we'll get back into this Bengals one because I got to give my pick. I got to give my pick on tonight's Jags and Bengals game. And hold up, I need to take a sip of my coffee. Hold on. Oh, man, that's so good. Did everyone see my cup? Look at that cup. Isn't that a beautiful cup? Look at this beautiful shirt, by the way. I mean, it's just the hater outfit. Got my brown shirt on, got my Jacksonville Jaguars coffee mug here. I'm just living it up here in the WING studios here on game day. Who day? The Bengals. Will they lose to the Jags tonight? They better not. And if they win, they better not even win by 3. It better not take 4 quarters. If the Bengals are for real, you just destroyed the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can't lose to the Bears, destroy a bad Steelers team, and then come back and lose to a Jaguars team. Because I'm not convinced that the Steelers are as bad as what they were against the Bengals. I think they just saw, it's the Bengals. We could take our foot off the gas a little bit, and they got punched in the mouth. We'll find out how for real the Bengals are here tonight. We're going to find out very quickly. So I'm just saying.
Okay, I got the info.
What info do you got?
So Trevor Lawrence has thrown 7 interceptions this season. He threw
9 touchdowns. My fault.
He threw 3 interceptions versus the Texans in week 1, 2 versus the Broncos, and then 2 more last week versus the Cardinals. So Bengals. So what's the over-under interceptions for the Bengals? 1.5?
Look, the Bengals, they've only forced 3 turnovers all year. They don't force turnovers. So,
I mean, this is the game to get him, right? Because, I mean, he's giving them away like candy, right?
But is it a matter of him giving them away or teams taking them away? Because there is a significant difference. Like, I mean,
the only team on here that we all believe have a good defense is the Broncos. We're not necessarily believing that Arizona Cardinals have a great defense.
They don't have to be great. They just have to be
catch it.
They just have to be right there in front of them. And look,
just catch it. He's throwing it right to you.
The Cardinals' defense has been solid. That's the Broncos have the number 2 defense in the NFL, and the Cardinals are in the top 10, and then Houston's just on the outside. Again, not great defenses. Denver number 2 defense in the league. Cardinals top 10 defense. Look, Trevor Lawrence is making rookie mistakes. He's turning it over a lot. The Bengals have actually turned the ball over themselves more than they have forced turnovers. Hell, 3 of the 4 turnovers that the Bengals have had came in 3 consecutive interceptions thrown by Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has a tendency to turn it over a lot too. He's turned it over quite a lot this season. He has an interception in every game as well. He has 5. Trevor Lawrence only has 2 more interceptions than Joe Burrow. 2 young quarterbacks who are still learning the league, who have still shown a lot of flaws. So I'm not going to just totally rip them over the interceptions. It's going to be what they do after. I think that the Jags are going to put some points up on the board tonight. I still think that when you look at the teams that the Cincinnati Bengals defense have dominated, they haven't really dominated. They dominated the Steelers. The Steelers played probably their worst game I can remember. I can't remember the last time the Steelers played that poorly of a game, and that's including the playoff game against the Browns last year. That was atrocious. What we just saw this past Sunday was that Cincinnati taking it from them. Was it Pittsburgh just kind of give it? I mean, you heard Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd said they quit. They just stopped trying. If I'm Tyler Boyd, I don't say that because then it makes you sound weak. Like, hey, we didn't beat them. They just quit. So we just took the win. So that's all I'm saying is we're going to find out tonight. To build on what you just did against the Steelers, you got to not just beat the Jags, you got to destroy the Jags. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no in between. You want my ears to perk. You want me to sit up in my chair. You want me to give the Bengals a little bit more respect. I'm not going to pull the, it's just the Jaguars. If it's just the Jaguars, destroy the Jaguars. Blow out the Jaguars. Show that the Bengals are not down in the basement with the team like the Jaguars. That's all I got to say about that. Because at the end of the day, if you need 4 full quarters to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, Bengals, then there's no gap. There's not really a gap between you guys. So they got to take care of business tonight. The Bengals defense, I think, is a little slightly, being overblown at this point, mainly because the one good offensive team that the Bengals did play, you gave up 350 passing yards and a few touchdowns to Kirk Cousins. What good quarterback have you played since then? What good quarterback has Cincinnati played since then? They haven't played a good offense since they played the Vikings in week 1. And they needed overtime to beat them. So I just think that trend continues tonight. Jags don't have a good offense. I still think they're going to put some points up on the board. It's really going to come down to, can Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase continue their run that they have right there, Kev? So I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think that the Bengals are going to blow out the Jags. I think that the Jags stun the Bengals in Cincinnati tonight. All the talk about Cincinnati. Everyone acts like because they destroyed the Steelers that we're just supposed to overlook that loss to the Bears in week 2. Like that loss just didn't happen. You lost to a bad football team in the Chicago Bears. So Luckily for the Bengals, though, the Jags defense is nothing like the Chicago Bears, and they don't have pass rushers like that. I think what I want to see from the Bengals tonight is 2 straight weeks of protecting Joe Burrow. I will not rip them if they give up a sack. You can get sacked 1 to 3 times a game. When you start getting that 4 times a game, 5 times a game, 6 times a game, that becomes a problem. I want to see if they can continue protecting Joe Burrow here tonight.
Bengals win.
Oh, got to get your mic on.
Hello.
This thing on?
Bengals win 31-17.
So what's that?
Bengals win 31-17.
31-17?
Yeah.
Jaguars win 24-21. 24-21, Jags over the Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium here tonight.
Pick 6 to ice it for the Bengals. Yep.
All right, that's fair. That's after the Jags tied it from their pick 6 against Joe Burrow. Just say it. It's just going to be which quarterback makes the least amount of mistakes tonight because both quarterbacks have made a lot. 518-1410. Kev, who's on line 2?
We got Charlie.
Charlie, how are you today, sir?
You're really pushing it, Justin. You're really trying to get get me going here, get me fired up. You're in full Bengals hater mode right now.
That would make sense if I wasn't bringing facts to the table, buddy. I'm just saying, like, I'm not making that up. So
the Bengals have to rout the Jaguars in order for you to think that they're anything.
I believe I've heard multiple Bengals fans today say that, oh, well, look at the Ravens. They barely beat the Lions. I believe I've heard that logic a lot today. Does that only work with other teams and not your team? I just want to make sure that we're playing by the same rules here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the same goes for the Browns. They haven't done anything impressive so far this year.
This year we're just gonna. Okay, I see how we're gonna do this. Okay, that's fine.
Is this year, or is this year last year?
Everything's big picture, buddy. Like it's really not that hard to figure out. Like the Browns are a lot further in their journey to get to the finish.
In your narrative, Justin.
Why are you so angry? Why are you so mad? Relax. Calm down.
Because this is what you do.
What do I do?
You're just throwing all kind of shade all over the Bengals.
He said shade. He said shade.
Now, in order for us to get any respect from you, we have to beat the Jaguars 42-7.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you need full 4 quarters to beat a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach and an 0-3 team, I'm sorry. I'm just come on now. Like I guarantee you, if the Browns beat the Jags by 3 points at the end of regulation, you would not be giving them any credit at all. You'd be like, "Oh my God, you needed 4 quarters to beat the Jaguars." But with you guys, if that's the case tonight, chirp, 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 chirp. We're getting Super Bowl T-shirts made already. Give me a break, son.
Well, hey, you know what? If it's a close game, we beat a team that has Trevor Lawrence.
I thought Trevor Lawrence was a bum. I thought he was no good. He's no Joe Burrow.
Who said he was? I never said he was a bum.
Joe Burrow's God, though, right? No one's better
Joe
than
Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Is God. Trevor Lawrence is not bad. I mean, time will tell on Trevor Lawrence. I'm sure he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. What I'm trying to get at you,
you know why Trevor Lawrence is better than Burrow? Because he has more passing yards. That is playing by your logic.
Trevor Lawrence is not better than Joe Burrow by any means.
Oh, why? Because remember last year, Baker's efficiency was better. He had more touchdowns. He had more everything except passing yards. And you said Joe Burrow was better than Baker because he had more passing yards. So this year, Trevor Lawrence has more passing yards than Joe Burrow, but that doesn't mean anything because why?
Joe Burrow is better than Baker Mayfield, first of all. Are you crazy?
Sure? I mean, the guy's averaging 213 passing yards a game. I mean, that doesn't sound like a great quarterback to me. I'm using your logic. That's what you guys said about my guy Baker. I'm just playing by your rules. So you don't like. I get it. You don't like when I play by your rules. It's upsetting. It frustrates you, right?
Well, no. I mean, what are we supposed to do when it takes almost no effort to pound the Steelers? Like, how's that Joe Burrow's fault that you barely have to try to beat the Steelers? I guess it's not really his fault. He had 14 completions, 3 of them were touchdowns.
213 yards, man. He lit it up.
I mean, you don't have to. He said that. You don't have to. What do you got to do? Ben Roethlisberger threw it 65 times. That's what Joe Burrow was doing last year.
Okay.
But no, I think because Joe Burrow has ice in his veins, and we have Von Bell and Hendrickson.
What does that even mean? Ice in his veins. What has Burrow done for you to say he has ice in his veins? What has he done? What has he done? Again, playing by your rules.
I mean, that Vikings game showed a lot. You're coming off a knee injury and winning that game against a team that's going to end up in the playoffs. you guys probably
the Vikings
won't
are a
beat
playoff
the
team?
Oh, yeah. They smashed the Seahawks last week. I don't know if you were paying attention. They beat the Seahawks.
How are you paying attention? I'm surprised. Like, oh my gosh, Joe Burrow has 213 passing yards. How am I able to function today? Like, I feel like you would not be paying attention to anything else.
Well, like how the Vikings beat the Seahawks is how the Browns are supposed to be playing, like smashing teams.
Hey, who won between the Bengals
and
Bears? I'm having a hard time remembering the outcome of that game. I can't remember. What happened in that one?
Oh, we should have got blowed out in that game. If Andy Dalton would have stayed in the game, we'd have got blowed out. That's no joke. We had 4 turnovers.
Doesn't sound like a good football team to me. Then, if you let Andy Dalton blow you out, that doesn't sound like a good football team to me.
Well, if you turn the ball over 4 times and a half, normally you would get blowed out. Justin Fields is not ready yet. So
but the quarterback that threw 3 straight interceptions, he is, right? I just want to make sure.
Oh, Joe Burrow is a stud.
The ice in the veins. I mean, my goodness, not just anyone can complete 3 straight passes to the other team.
Well, I mean, right after that, he threw 2 touchdowns.
Then that just erases the 3 straight interceptions. You're right. I want to live life by your rules because life seems simpler that way.
You couldn't handle my life.
I don't even know what that means.
You just couldn't do it. Kev,
what up?
Hey, man, I wish this weekend I didn't have a bunch of crap to do because I know you ain't got a spot to stay up there in Indiana for the Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, man, if things were different, I drive a truck. Like driving, 11 hours in a day ain't no big deal. Woo. We could have done it, man, but I got this guy still working on my house. So, but next time, dude, I got you.
What you do? What you haven't done to the house?
I don't even know where to begin on that, dude. Last year, we lived in a hotel for 5 months and my house flooded.
Oh.
But
how am I supposed to pick on you after you say that? Yeah, everything's good now, right?
The whole inside of the house has been remodeled.
Oh, man, you got a guy, you got a local guy, or you got like the insurance are covering it?
Well, what I'm working on now is way after insurance. This is like, this has all been done, so we might as well get this done. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well,
no,
I got some things I need done to the house, man. I might need to get with you, man. Get with your guy.
So when you were redoing your house,
good guys. This guy's not that good.
So when you were,
hey, you got to remember, man, he still got work to finish, man. You can't bash him.
Oh, he don't know who I am on the radio. I'm Charlie from Dayton on the radio.
So Charlie from Dayton. So when you were redoing your house, there's a lot of needs that your house needed. You had to prioritize which needs were more important than others. Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
like,
I drafted Jackson Carmen in the 2nd round, and there were no sacks allowed. And he had the highest PFF grade on the whole offensive line. Is that what we're going?
I don't know what world you're living in. That they were just talking about on the show this morning about how low all their PFF grades were. So he may have the highest grade, but it wasn't good grades.
Jackson Carmen had almost a 70 PFF grade. There were no sacks or quarterback hits.
But the Steelers quit. You heard Tyler Boyd. That's your own receiver. The Steelers weren't even trying.
Do you know why Tyler Boyd?
Don't get mad at me. Tyler Boyd. Listen, I don't care if Tyler Boyd's from Pittsburgh or not. Tyler Boyd said they quit. So the Bengals didn't beat the Steelers. The Steelers just quit. They gave up. They didn't even try.
Kev, you know why Tyler Boyd talks so much trash on the Steelers, right?
Of course.
He's from Pittsburgh. He went to Pitt. He wanted to play for the Steelers. They didn't want him. I mean,
why would they?
What do you know?
That's why he's with the Bengals, of course.
Well, I mean, of course, that's why he's so bad.
Charlie, it's always fun.
That makes sense. I'm sure he grew up idolizing the Steelers.
And he still is, probably. That's a real football player.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure he still loves Pittsburgh and all that stuff, but that's why he's mad. He's just mad because they didn't draft. It's like Maurice Jones-Drew wearing number 32, It's like everybody, these guys have chips on their shoulders, Like Tyler Boyd showed you when he smashed into, what was that, Melvin Ingram? He smashed into him and then still scored a touchdown.
Unfortunately.
I mean, he showed you that Pittsburgh toughness right there. I love having Tyler Boyd. I love the fact that he's from Pittsburgh. People from there are tough. What are you going to do?
Yeah, they're not from Fairfield, Ohio.
You know what?
Okay, Charlie, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm just giving you a hard time, buddy. I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, I'm on one today.
He was I think he was the top recruit his year, and he went to Clemson, and was the left tackle for Trevor Lawrence. And I mean,
I have it on good authority. He was supposed to be a Buckeye.
Yeah, we know all about his story. Trust me.
Trust me. But hey, Charlie, we're out of time, man. Great hearing from you. Hey, I'm telling you now, they better not just win by 3. They better blow the Jags out tonight. I will give them props if they do. If they don't need to blow the Jags out. Yes, they do. If they take 4 quarters to beat a bad 0-3 Jags team, that means they're down there with them. That means that if you have to really work hard to beat a bad team.
To beat the Texans. What are you talking about?
What was that? What was that Bears score? How many yards you guys give up against the Bears? Man, Charlie, I'm telling you, it's a bad day at the office for Charlie. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Kinner and Kev, we'll be back in just a moment.
We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, a high near 80. Tonight will be mostly cloudy, a low near 50. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy, a high near 80. I'm Pete Spyback for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane, making buying propane easy since 1952, offering budget billing and pre-buy options. Find out more at culletpropane.com.
Ready for renovations? Arts Rental Equipment has the tools you need to make your home, lawn, and garden stand out this year. From brush chippers to cutoff saws, no job is too small or too big. Visit your local arts store today. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
Want to learn a new language so it will actually stick? Try Babbel. Practice real-life conversations in the Babbel app.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Get personalized help in Babbel's live online classes.
Classes are limited to 6 people, so everyone can get the help they need.
Review words and phrases with fun games, or dive into the culture with short videos. Whatever your learning style, Babbel gives you the tools you need. Babbel, more ways to learn. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hello, everyone. It's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Call me today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hi, John Glazer here for Glazier Soft Water. We've been making water great since 1988, and no matter what your water issues, we have solutions. Your city water can be clear, but still be hard and have the taste and odor of chlorine. Well water can look, smell, and taste terrible. Glazier Soft Water will fix your water and will even include a 7-year parts and labor warranty so you don't have to worry. Visit our website to learn more at glaziersoftwater.com. Glazier Water really is better water.
Don't go it alone in your job search. It's time to get to know Express Employment Professionals. Find the location near you at expresspros.com. No fees for job seekers. expresspros.com.
Frickin' football is here. Frickers has the games on all the screens and you score with savings. Enjoy your favorite ice-cold domestic draft personal pitchers for only $6.50. A 48-ounce personal pitcher for only $6.50. And enjoy a plate of your favorite frickin' nachos for just $7. Take your frickin' pick. Frickin' chicken nachos, Mississippi barbecue nachos, or Nacho Supreme, only $7. This season, don't just be a football fan, be a Nacho fan. At the home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Do you have a home improvement project? Use the right tool for the job and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. Arts has the best selection from power washers and ladders to loaders and dump trailers. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
If you think the COVID vaccine alone will protect you from the coronavirus, think again. As the deadly disease breaks through to people who are vaccinated, it's critical to take a reliable temperature reading with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's the only thermometer whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Vaccines are not enough, and thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug. And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb.
All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs.
Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Now at Lowe's, order any flooring like Stainmaster Pet Protect Carpet, starting at $185 per square foot. See in-store associate or product detail page for warranty information.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Hanging out with you here on a Tuesday. Cleveland Browns victorious over the Bears over the weekend. And, of course, the Bengals got that huge win over Pittsburgh on Sunday as well. We'll continue with that conversation. We'll get into some Ohio State talk